Welcome, y'all. I was not prepared. Probably should have started recording until I was prepared. But hey, who's perfect? Who is perfect? The answer is nobody. So, hey, welcome back to Holy Hot Mess. I'm Savannah, saved, slightly chaotic, and figuring out this faith journey one prayer at a time. We are diving into Jesus, real life struggles, and all the grace in between. So let's get to it. I know, still haven't figured it out. And obviously my last video, I just didn't do the correct intro. And then I was like, all right, the only way I'm going to get better at this is if I just keep practicing. So that was me practicing. Apologies. I'm going to try to just do this because I feel like I need to do we're just gonna hold it. So quick video today. I feel like I always say that and then they're 20 minutes long, but I don't feel like that's very long to be real. I'm just wanted to read a little scripture for you from Ephesians 4 verses 23 through 29. It is about the way you live. So how those around us see our actions, essentially. So how to be an example for them, essentially. Okay, so it says, we're just going to get right into it. Instead, let the Spirit renew your thoughts and attitudes. Put on your new nature, created to be like God, truly righteous and holy. So stop telling lies. Let us tell our neighbors the truth, for we are all parts of the same body. And don't sin by letting anger control you. Don't let the sun go down while you are still angry, for anger gives a foothold to the devil. If you are a thief, quit stealing. Instead, use your hands for good hard work and then give generously to others in need. Don't use foul or abusive language. Let everything you say be good and helpful, so that your words will be an encouragement to those who hear them. Again, Ephesians chapter 4, scripture verses 23 through 29. I apologize, I'm still learning how to say that part. I've never really been a person that, was into the Bible. Like, even though I always believed in God, I never read the Bible. Honestly, still haven't. I am reading it currently and just reading different scriptures from, when you look up different topics. I love ChatGPT. That's what I use usually. I will look up, what scriptures are related to this or that. So if I want to be talking about it, or I'm just kind of curious in general, but then also I have been slowly reading it. I started with the Old Testament and decided let's just do the New Testament and then we'll go backwards. Only because, all right, I'm going to talk about something for a second and then we'll get back into that. So if you're like me and haven't really read the Bible yet, you're still kind of like learning or you're still kind of, choosing to finally get into it and read it, I do recommend reading the New Testament before the Old, only because the New Testament is since Jesus has been here. So it's going to be, I'm not going to say boring, because I don't think the Bible is boring. I used to think the Bible was boring, but now that I understand it and Jesus' journey, I don't think it's boring. I got interested into actually reading the Bible because I watched The Chosen. I hope you've seen it. If you haven't, please go watch it. They have their own app. You can literally download the app on your TV and watch it through that. Please go support them. I have bought all their Bible studies, devotions, the whole ordeal, because it has really helped me learn Jesus' journey, because it takes it, if you're a visual person like me, it helps you with that visualization, because it shows it in real life and they go off of the Bible. There may obviously be a few things that aren't we're not 100% sure about every single word that was said or that kind of thing, but they go off the Bible very strictly. And then it kind of almost gives you someone to think about when you're thinking of Jesus. And the guy that plays it is a perfect, he plays a role so perfect. It's insane. I wish I knew his name. I think it's Jonathan. I don't want to say it wrong because I feel like that's insulting, but now when I picture Jesus, that's like who I picture I'm talking to essentially. And I hope that's not like sinful or wrong. It just helps me kind of picture somebody now, which honestly almost helps me think of him even more as a friend. And now that I know his journey, at least from the episodes they have out, I don't know, it helped me really get closer to God and Jesus and the whole thing, because it just made me really understand the journey better, because I have a hard time reading and remembering or really taking it in. I am such a visual person. I love books, don't get me wrong, but if I see it, I'm going to remember it better and all the things. That's just who I personally am. If you're the other type of person, just read the Bible and then maybe watch Chosen. But either way, go watch Chosen. It is amazing and it is so good and it's just so worth it. Don't remember where I was at with that. But anywho, yeah, it helped me grow my relationship with Jesus and everything. And I'm obsessed with it and support it and everything else. It is amazing. I love The Chosen. Like I'm waiting for them to come out with this next season 5. Oh, I believe they have it filmed already and they're working on season 6, but they don't have it out. I don't know. I can't remember. They're probably, in the works of the whole thing. But anywho, yeah, I suggest starting with a New Testament because, it can come off boring if you don't know anything about God and all that and you're just in the beginning works. It might be, I don't know. I recommend the First Testament than the Old. It's hard to explain once you understand the Old Testament and the New Testament, because even without me reading it, I've done research. I have learned a lot of different things. Obviously, there's movies on some of the things that happen in the Old Testament as well. So again, visualizing kind of that way and then learning it in church too, because, when they talk about it, I learned a lot about the Old Testament and I'm actually very interested in it, but I still want to go with the New just because I'm so intrigued by it with Jesus. Since when Jesus came to earth, like that journey is so intriguing to me and so, I don't know, it hits hard and I am just very interested. So I'm starting with the New Testament and then I'll go back, obviously, and read the Old Testament. Anywhoozy, all right, that was really rantage, but back to Ephesians. I already forgot what it said, so we're going to reread it because you probably did too. Instead, let the Spirit renew your thoughts and attitudes. Put on your new nature, created to be like God, truly righteous and holy. So stop telling lies. Let us tell our neighbors the truth, for we are all parts of the same body. And don't sin by letting anger control you. Don't let the sun go down while you are still angry, for anger gives a foothold to the devil. If you are a thief, quit stealing. Instead, use your hands for good, hard work, and then give generously to others in need. Don't use foul or abusive language. Let everything you say be good and helpful, so that your words will be an encouragement to those who hear them. Again, Ephesians chapter 4, 23 through 29. I'm going to break it down a little bit. So, renew your thoughts and attitude. So, the Holy Spirit, let it run through you and just completely renew your thoughts and attitude. So put your new nature, created to be like God, truly righteous and holy. So what that means essentially is maybe the way you think is more negative, or your attitude's not very good, or you think really badly a lot. Whatever, as far as your attitude and your thoughts go, stop letting the devil have control of that, because he does if you are letting him. If you're having the negative thoughts, whether it's about yourself, whether it's about somebody else, whether you're judging, whether you have a bad attitude towards every situation, instead of having a bad attitude towards the situation, pray over the situation. So pray over even having a better attitude or better thoughts about it, because God will help you do that, truly righteous and holy. So that's so hard to explain if you don't really get it. So thrive to be like Jesus, he's very positive about, and he had his moments for sure where I'm sure his thoughts got negative when he was through his journey. He had a really hard journey. He went through a lot. He preached a lot. He had hard days. But honestly, even through that, he was just so graceful and so like thankful. It's insane what he did and would still be so holy at the end of the day. Just it's to thrive, to be like Jesus is what we need to be. Just even if you have to work on your mind outside of God, but obviously you need God's help in everything, every situation. But if you're going to work on it outside of God and your attitude, like whether you want to, on your TV or on YouTube, watch like things that help you with your brain. I do. I watch them. I watch a lot of Denzel Washington because he has a lot to say about your mind and how it can change everything. And he's a man of God. He believes in God. He preaches it and that kind of stuff too. So he's a really good one to go watch because he's not just saying it as in like it's all on you. He's saying it as in like definitely you have to put in the work to really help with your mind and your attitude, but he's also a man of God, so obviously like pray and all those kinds of things. Anyway, I got off rant on just that little part. So stop telling lies. Let us tell our neighbors the truth, for we are all part of the same body. So stop lying. I can't even tell you how bad lying is. It sounds so like, it's a little white lie. No, God looks at lying very harshly. Like, as bad as murder. It does not matter what the sin is. He looks at all sins the same. And I'm not saying he thinks of you as a bad person. He wants to be there for you. He wants to help you get through. He wants to help change all that. But he is not looking at any sin different than another. And I know that sounds crazy because you're like, well, murder and rape and all those things. Yeah, those are terrible, but he looks at lies the same. So stop lying and be a good neighbor. We are all the same people. And it's the same sense of how the world is right now. Don't be racist. Don't be rude because of the color of their skin. We are all the same body. We are all created by the same person. So don't treat each other differently because of anything. It doesn't matter who they voted for. It doesn't matter the color of their skin. It doesn't matter how they think is different than you. That is okay. That is okay. Do not treat each other wrong. That is not God. We are all in the same body. We are all created by the same person. Do not treat your neighbors wrong. Be good to them. And don't sin by letting anger control you. Don't let the sun go down while you're still angry, for anger gives a foothold to the devil. Anger is so hard. I know, because we live again in such a sinful world and we get so angry about all the things. Believe me, anger is one of the biggest problems I've had growing up. I hold on to so much. I don't anymore. I held on to so much resentment of my childhood and so much anger towards everybody that hurt me. And that is just the devil holding on to that, because he knows if you have the anger towards whatever you have it towards, he knows he's doing his job. So if you can just forgive, let it go, just take a deep breath before you react. And I know you're still going to have your moments for sure, but as you're starting that moment, really remind yourself, you know what, I need to take a step back. And then don't also go to bed angry. That is so not a good idea. Do not go to bed angry, whether it's to your spouse. If you're angry about a situation, take a deep breath, pray about it, have God help you get over the situation so you're not going to bed angry, because then you're either going to have bad dreams or you're going to wake up thinking about it still and you're still going to be angry, and the devil is doing his job so well. Do not let him do that to you. Do not let him do that to you. Even if you have to say it out loud. Satan, you do not belong here. I say it all the time. Satan, you do not belong here. The only one allowed in my life is God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit running through me. If you are here, leave now, because you do not have anything on me. You do not have control over me. I will not allow it. My life and my space is all protected by God, and he's the only one that is allowed around my family and me, and he will always protect me. Like, say whatever you need to say. Yell it out loud to Satan. Yell at him. He needs you to yell at him, because he's going to continue to come at you and just steal all your joy and happiness. So just yell at him. Get him out. you don't belong here. And I can't even tell you, by doing those kind of things, how great of a feeling it is. You feel so in control. You feel so empowered. And not just because you feel it alone. You feel it because you know God is standing there, almost like a big brother standing behind you with somebody, bullying you or a threat to you. And you got somebody big coming up behind you and they're like, oh, okay, I'm going to walk away now. That's how it feels. God is right there. He is right there. And I'm telling you, Satan's worst fear is Jesus. So he's not more powerful than them. He is not more powerful than them. So speak the name over it all. Speak the name over your anger. Speak the name over any of it. And I promise you, it's going to help, and it is going to make him one of those things. Where'd you go? Oh, that's right. You're gone. Home run. Anywho. If you are a thief, quit stealing. Instead, use your hands for good, hard work, and then give generously to others in need. That's a really good one. Whether you're a thief of stealing other people's joy, whether you're an actual thief and you're stealing, not a good thing, guys. That is a terrible sin as well. They're all terrible, like I said. But don't be a thief. Instead, work hard. Go find that job. Go try your hardest. And I get it. It's hard. There's a lot of situations that makes that so incredibly hard, especially if you're like a single parent and, you have no money to put your kids in daycare, so you can go get a job. Try to find that remote job. Try to do anything that you can, but do not steal. Be genuine or be generous to others if you can. Obviously, if you can't even get your own life and situation under control and be able to, provide for your family and you, then maybe don't give. But if you have anything to give, even on our brokest moments, I always give to the church. I always try to give to Jesus. There's been a few moments I haven't had anything to where we couldn't, but I always try to give something. I have literally given $1 to the church that day. It doesn't matter what it is, just try to give. That is that you're trying to be genuine, and you're trying to help out the people in need, because churches do put it towards good things. So that's all I got to say about that part, I feel like I could keep ranting if I go too far with things. So we're going to move on. Don't use foul or abusive language. Let everything you say be good and helpful, so that your words will be encouragement to those who hear them. Abusive language. Foul or abusive language. That means cursing. As far as foul language, it means more than that, but obviously foul language is usually like cursing. Try not to curse. And I am one to talk, because believe me, I grew up around sailors. My whole family, not my whole family, but most of my family are sailors when they talk. It's bad. And nothing against them, but they are. That's just the truth. So I picked up a lot of bad habits, and I am trying so hard to break that, because I don't want my kids to hear that. That is so bad for them to hear those things. And, because that's only going to create more bad habits for them, or it's just not good because you're not usually using it in a good form. You're not. It's just not good. Just don't do it. Try not to do it. Work on it. Have an accountability partner that helps you with it. Me and my husband help each other. And then don't be around people that are bad like that. And if they are doing it, say, hey, we can't be around you if that's how you're going to be, because, you need to learn. You need to fix that. That's not how we are right now. We're really trying to grow, and being around that is only encouraging that bad behavior. Stand up for yourself with that. That is fine. There is nothing wrong with that. That is you standing up and, in a sense, preaching the gospel, because you're putting your boundaries that God has for you. He has those standards for you. He doesn't want you cursing like that. He didn't come up with those words. So why are you saying them, And I think the same way about myself. I'll even start to say them now. And I'm so aware of it now. It's crazy how much it's transitioned since I've finally asked him for help with it. I'll even say the first letter, shh. And then I'm like, shoot, or freak. I don't even want to say those, but at the same time, those are way better than, it's better because you're stopping it. So you're starting to become aware of it. So if you're like a sailor and you grew up like that, start with that, where you just are at least starting to be aware of it. It's going to probably slip a few times. Don't beat yourself up for it, but only just tell yourself, all right, next time that can't happen. we gotta be better. We have to be better. We have to be better for people around us. We should be encouraging them, not saying, oh, F this, F that, shoot this, or, the actual words, or that, and every other sentence. That's not being encouraging. That's just encouraging more cursing in this world that we don't need. We don't need that. Abusive language. If you grew up around, people that were like, oh, you look slutty. Oh, you look like an orphan, or you're dumb, or you're stupid, or something like that. That's abusive language. Abuse is not all physical, guys. Language is abusive and it can hurt somebody. Or you need a shower. You smell bad. Like, don't say those things. Don't say those things. There's so many nicer ways to say things. If somebody is dressed scandalous, hey, I just want to say, you look really beautiful. Or it's probably not a man, because I don't feel like, no, you can't dress scandalous as a man, especially today's age. I said that wrong, but you know what I mean. You look really great. You're showing, I don't want to say like you're showing off a lot, but I don't know. There's you gotta really, it depends on who you're talking to, because some people you can just tell them how it is. Like, hey, but not in a mean way. Don't come off as like, oh, you dress like a slut. No, still be like, hey, you look really great, but there is a time and a place for things. Is that the best time? Even if it's fine situation where they, could maybe dress like that, still bring it up, because then it makes them second guess their outfit a little bit, and maybe thinks, oh, that is a lot. Or I don't know, just it depends on the person. Obviously, it's very hard to tell you what to say, and I'm not going to tell you what to say, because that's between you and that person. Or even if you want to say anything, I'm just saying, be encouraging to people, help people out. There's so many different ways. And if somebody smells, hey, I don't mean to be mean at all, but I just want to let you know, like, I can kind of smell you a little bit. I would want to be told that for sure. So that wouldn't be like insulting to me. But if you smell like crap, or you smell terrible, or whatever, you smell like a homeless person, I don't know. Like, telling somebody to smell like a homeless person is two things. Terrible, because again, not a nice way to say it. And another thing, that's rude as heck to say about homeless people. Obviously they probably do smell because they're living on the streets and stuff, and they can't always have a shower, but that's rude. Now you're talking down on two different people. You're talking down to the person you're talking to, and on homeless people too. They already have a crappy situation. Don't talk down on them. Instead of saying you look like an orphan. That's sad. Orphans don't have a lot. Orphans usually can't even take care of themselves because they're kids. And even when they grow up, they might not have grown up with any money because they were orphans. And so they're struggling. To tell them that they're dressed like that, you're insulting orphans, and then you're insulting the person you're talking to. Don't talk like that. Don't talk like that. It's not your place to judge. It's not your place to judge. There are so many nicer ways to say things, and if somebody's not dressed the way you want them to dress, just don't say anything at all. Unless unless they're really scandalous, it's not the appropriate time. Hey, there is a time and a place for things, and that's probably not the best thing, but it's up to you. It's not, you look great. I just at least wanted to let you know. I don't know. That's a hard one to do, but sometimes if people don't realize how they're being or dressing until you bring it up, and then they'll second guess themselves. And I don't take things wrong, but there's a lot of sensitive people out there, so you gotta be careful with how you say things. That's the end of that, though. But I really just wanted to read that because it's talking about the way you live, and how those around you can see our actions in all the areas. So just really work on those things, guys. We really need to be better as a whole, the whole thing we just went over. So I lost my train of thought. But really, guys, we just need to be better as a whole and just work on everything and just be there for each other, because it's crazy how sad this world is and depressing this world is, and how we are not there for one another. And honestly, we just talk down on one another, and we don't realize that everything we do, people are watching. There's a generation, whether you have kids or not, the next generation is watching you. And even some people that are older that are still learning to do better, if they're watching you be like that, it's only encouraging them to have bad behavior, whether it's in any of those categories. So it's like, just watch what you do. Be righteous and holy in all the areas, guys, and just pray for help from him. He will help you. He will be there for you. Ask for the strength in all those areas. I do every day. I cannot do it without him. There is no way, and I'm still working on it. So don't expect I changed. No, that's not how it works. And anybody that tries to tell you it's going to be like that, it's not true. So don't feel bad when you slip up. It happens. Just ask for forgiveness. And I don't mean in that moment. You don't have to like mess up and be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. No. Later on when you say a prayer, even if it's at night, whether it's at dinner, whatever, you could say in your prayer, forgive me for, not forgive me, I have sinned. I mean, you could say that, I guess. Forgive us when we fall short. I like to say that. I learned that from my grandpa and grandma. They said it in their prayer a lot. My brother says it too, but, forgive us for when we fall short, as we live in a sinful world. And I know that's not an excuse, but being in this sinful world, it is really hard. We still need your help and your guidance, but forgive us for all that we do wrong. Forgive me for this. If you want to get specific, tell him, forgive me for this or that I did today or whatever. But even if you just say, like, forgive us when we fall short, that's what that means, is when you did something improper as far as what he would want you to do, and he's gonna forgive you guys. He's the most forgiving person. So it's just, he's the most forgiving. I don't know if you're supposed to say person, but he is great. I love him. Jesus, thank you for everything. Like, God, if it wasn't for them, I even like using, why did I use God in that sentence? If it wasn't for them, see, that's not like, that wasn't cursing, but I almost feel like when you use him in a sentence in a way that's not talking about him, I don't know, it's conflicting to me. If it's not conflicting to you, that's a whole nother story. It's conflicting to me, so I'm trying to stop even saying that. Like, I'm just gonna say, oh my God, I don't even like saying that anymore, because it's like, I mean, you're not saying it wrong, but you're not using his name as his name, so it's like, is it wrong? I don't know. If it's conflicting to you, try not to do it. If it's not, that's between you and him. But anywho, I got a really bad itch. I hate when you have makeup on and you have an itch, because you're like, don't scratch hard. Otherwise, you're going to be like, you have claw marks. Anyway, just thank Jesus for everything. He's so, so good. And if it wasn't for him, this world would be crazy. We would all be like the worst sinners ever. So we would all be in dark hell, because he is the only, everything good and light and happy and joy, all comes from him. So all the darkness, illness, badness that happens, don't think that that's coming from God. Don't think he's the one letting it happen. This is Satan's world. And if you need help, you just have to pray to him. You have to talk to him. Even if it's not a prayer, like I said, talk to him. In one of my other episodes, I literally said, I'll sit and talk like I'm talking to him, like if he were sitting next to me. I don't always make it like this official thing, and I'm really not that great at prayer. I just talk to him. I don't always start it off with something. I'll be like, dang, dude, like, just talk to him like he's your friend, like he's your father. He's there for you guys. So it's just, anyway, God is good. I hope you have it's a great day to have a great day, and I hope y'all have a great rest of your day. I'm going to stop ranting now. Love you guys so much. See you next time.